Test, test, test,
Test, test.
test, 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 test.
There we go. All right, we're going to start in the booth really quick. All right, thank you everybody for joining the BBN. We are live at day 2 at the Aldo Della Croce tournament. I have a special guest with me today.
Hello.
Mr. Miles Russell. I think he knows a thing or two about bocce, maybe.
I like to think so.
USBF,
I hope so.
USBF National Record Precision Shooting
Yep.
holder, Miles Russell.
Just this year.
Just this year. Gold medalist,
Yep.
Miles Russell.
Yep.
And what else? What else have you done recently? What have you done recently?
I don't know. I mean, that's really the most recent things that I've done.
So you're old news already.
Yeah, I'm getting passed up already. But no, it's all good.
And you won the last 2 out of 3 tournaments here.
Yeah, so
then
I missed last year because I was in Turkey with Greg Della Croce. So him and I both missed it, but we kept updated on it, and my team that I normally would have played with ended up winning it. So.
Well, so 3 years running. Good team.
Yeah.
Team to beat. I don't know if I have anybody that watched the pre-show, but picked you guys as my favorites.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And so we're going to join live into this game right now. We have a pretty good one. We have J. Wolf Toyota versus Murfreesboro Bocce. I believe it was tied 7-7, but I believe Murfreesboro, J. Wolf Toyota just scored 1, and I was off by 1. So the score is 8-6. 8-6 J. Wolf Toyota. And we got an opening ball here. Don't have everyone's name yet, so we're just gonna have to
I'm not too familiar yet either. So,
man, I'm getting good. All right, there we go. That's a good opener. Point to beat. Are we out of focus? No, right? We're good.
kind of seems a little bit.
All right, so your last 3 years running champion here, but have you only played here those years, or did you play here?
Yeah, no. So I mean, I think this was like my first big tournament win 4 years ago, right? Just in general, I think this was like the big win, and we snuck in. It was me, Maurizio Pirelli, Vito Bonasante, and Andy, and I think we snuck in or something by like 1 point, and then we just turned it on. Like it was, we really needed the point differential to work out, and it worked out, and then we just turned it on, and we dominated the rest of the way through.
Some of those that round robin magic.
Yeah, I mean seriously, that was the only reason, and we snuck by. We needed the team to win, that did, and that was kind of the beginning, and that was even the beginning of my, career of bocce.
Rise to the top.
Yeah, try to, right, and just continue to refine my game. But I've always liked these courts, and it's funny though. I was talking to Greg about it. I always envision these courts bigger than they are, and I don't know if it's because
you know what, I do too. I don't know. This place feels bigger than it really is because it's just so. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, and I think it's something with also that this year in particular that. The last time I was here was at the last Nationals, not the last Nationals, but the last time I played, but it was when they hosted Nationals here, and it was against Greg, and I was on this court that they're playing on right now, and it was 1-on-1, and it's like this, the visual, the memory you have is this like tunnel vision. It's like because there's so much on it, and the pressure, and it was weird coming back, kind of just reflecting on that. So. Yeah,
well, I think that's a very big one-on-one matchup too.
Yeah.
So, Greg is a phenomenal player.
Yep. Yeah.
You and him very similar, very cool, calm, collected on there. Never see you guys get too.
Yeah, and that's what I've been working on this last year. That's my goal, right? Is just
harness those emotions.
Harness emotions, inner mantra, right? Good thought train, because that's where it starts, right? Everything rises out, so your emotions come from where you're at in your headspace, and so that was my goal this last year. Is that no matter what I'm doing competitive-wise, even if I don't have the outcome of my performance, the way that I react to the performance is what I want to work on.
Yeah.
And so. And just be composed and show that. So.
Absolutely, especially too when on a day like today, when you're going to play 3-4 games and every game counts, and to attest to earlier what you said, how important every point is in every game in a round-robin situation, because you just never know how things are going to shake out.
Yep.
You know, a loss by 5 could be the difference between you advancing or not if you had lost by 6 or 7 instead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I've learned that. I learned that actually. I think we learned it last Nationals, because it's crazy because you had the day before it was me and Leo. We won men's doubles, right? And then we faced Maurizio and Anthony La Barbara, and we ended up then playing the next day together in the Open, and we got knocked out by point differential.
Oof.
So I mean, it's like even though we went, I think 3-1 or whatever, it was good record, but it was allowing, just like you said, it's just allowing the difference between 4 and 12 or 6 and 12, change that whole thing.
And then you would think with a 3-1 you're secure advancing in a round robin. But
it's all right. It didn't work out,
I mean, that's how many times, I've been on the receiving end of stuff like that. And I've also in nationals too, like snuck in on a 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because everyone had dropped their games to everyone else.
Yep.
So it just always matters.
Stay in it. Never, just keep your head in the game and realize that there's more to it. So. But yeah, coming here, these courts, I
love them.
Yeah, I do too, and they're I think they're the slowest courts. I think
they're very forgiving.
Yeah, but I think they're the slowest courts. We played at Palazzo and they redid them and they made them a little sticky, and nothing against that, right? But they were slower,
in a year or two,
right? But they were slower,
yeah.
And then I still think these might be even slower than Palazzo now. So, but it's okay, and I think it's a good thing, especially for just the gamut of players and abilities, right? If you're a new player and you're playing on super fast courts, it's not easy. It's not easy because it comes down to micro movements, and changing
don't
things.
Have that probably experience to make that 2-inch adjustment on a
very
fast
small
court.
You're exactly
it's so
right.
much different than on a more forgiving court.
Yep.
And we kind of talked about it day one here. I said to some of the people. So I saw some of the Heron and Murfreesboro players come out here, and now they play on that crushed clay courts outdoors.
Oh, okay.
And those are even slower than this.
Yeah, so absolutely, yeah.
But I was wondering, I feel like they're gonna roll fast right out the gate because they're so used to slower courts. And sure enough, they're like first 2 frames, everyone was like 4 feet past. That would probably be a ball right on Polino on their courts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I think a lot of us are sometimes guilty of this, of like not removing what we're used to and adjusting to where we're at, which is the name of the game. I mean, if you want to be really successful in one club, you can do that. But if you want to be a good player, you have to learn how to. The name of the game is adjustment, right?
Adjustment is the biggest thing.
And then hope you don't draw like a really good house team early on.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, exactly.
Because that could be tough.
Yeah, it really can be. House teams obviously have that advantage. So, what's going on here? So we have. Jay Wolf.
Jay Wolf put up another 2-spot in that frame. So they are now up 10-6 against Murfreesboro Bocce. 15 minutes left in the game, so we'll probably, barring a few maybe 1-point frames, see the end of this one. What do you think of the timer introduction of this year?
I think it's a good thing because it allows for scheduling, right? And I think Highwood, the Testament, Highwood was a big proponent, right? We did that with nationals. It really allowed for scheduling. When you get scheduling down, it then allows for people to kind of know when things are going to come up. I like it. It allows for a large tournament to be more organized. I think
stay on schedule. Definitely.
Yeah, stay on schedule. Right.
2 in the morning.
Well, that's the biggest thing, right? And I think Highwood did a great job of kind of setting the precedent for it, and so, yeah, I'm all for it. Definitely makes for it changes things when you get a close game like this. You
now
start.
It's such a big factor.
Where
right?
are we at?
14 minutes.
14
left.
minutes. You
can essentially, if you're up by 4, you could kind of probably draw this out.
You could.
Really could.
You could
if you wanted to.
Yep. And so that's
that fine line of etiquette versus strategy versus.
It is, and I think most of us would say, if you're up and it's a pivotal game, taking your time doesn't hurt. It's only it doesn't hurt.
Well,
right?
you know, if you're losing, making a comeback, and the other team's taking your time, they're jerks. But if you're on the winning team and you're taking your time, you're implying strategy.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's true, right?
So.
Of course, because I mean, we're all competitive and we all want to play the game out till its completion. But I do think and especially with I think the last 2 years, the sport has really grown.
Yep.
There's been just a surgence of new players into play, and with that is going to come bigger tournaments. And with bigger tournaments, you can't really run them anymore like you used to because you just have so many people.
Yeah.
Tournaments are selling out.
Yes.
Right? Just consistently, every tournament is selling out. I've only been playing really for 3 years now. This is my probably third year.
Mm-hmm.
And there'd be a time where it's a Wednesday and I found out about a tournament coming up Friday and I could just go register and I'd be okay.
Yeah.
You cannot do that anymore.
No.
Some of these are done within the week they're announced, and they're 8 or 9 months later.
Well,
and that's great.
And when we think about it, and we look at the major groups or cities that are involved in growing this sport, obviously Chicago, the Chicagoland area, massively due to American Bocce Go, right? They're really helping the sport grow immensely, but also Ohio, right? Iowa. Sorry, Iowa. Iowa is just
Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ohio. I switched it. Ohio.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was like, wait, hold on.
Little tire.
So
I was right the first time.
Is there
Ohio.
an underground Iowa bocce that I'm not aware
sorry,
of?
Ohio and Iowa, mixing it all up. But there's the two major places that the sport is just, one, they've always been big at now that I realize, but it's blowing up, right? And so the more coverage like BBN is doing, and the more that we open up the sport, then I think the more it's just going to keep on growing.
Yeah, and we want that, right?
Yes, we really do.
As much as I love everyone, I would love to see more new faces.
You're exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, you do, yeah. Especially young kids. I mean, that's let's just say 25 and under, or 20 and under. You know what I mean?
We haven't hit that demo yet.
No.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
I got to have the privilege this year. I ran a developmental course for junior high kids in Elmwood Park.
That's great.
And shout out, and I can't think of his name right now, but the park director in Elmwood Park. I think that's the conclusion of the game there, really quick. So J Wolf Toyota ran away with that one. It was close when we started the stream, but they closed it out 12-6. Went on a 6-point unanswered run.
Really, really good pointing on that one, that last ball right there. I saw him. He snuck around that front ball, and
that was nice.
It's hard to beat that or shoot that out.
And parked in back of the plate. So it makes it even harder.
Yep.
So.
But that's great that you're that developmentally. That's where it starts, right? It's just someone willing to start a club. A high school club, elementary, whatever, and if it gets enough appeal, right, and you can say, hey, you get good at this, you can represent youth, the United States youth.
Right, we're
bocce.
Really hurting for youth to represent the U.S. We have none.
We have none. Volo, there is from California, I've heard, but other than that, there's not really Rafa, PRV, Punta Rafa Volo. So.
Yeah. So, I got to run that one, and then the park director at Elmwood Park was gracious enough to basically, during the school year, since the park is basically empty during the day, he said if the school wants to develop some kind of program, they can come free of charge, use the bocce courts indoor for any time they want to bring those kids there.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome.
And I say, if you can get 1 out of every 10 people you introduce to the sport, that's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah, right? And I. We'll see where I end up. I'm at a new high school this year, but it is in the back of my head, kind of actually creating a club, using my own connections to try to help build that, right? And make it something more than just anybody just starting a club, and actually make it something. And so it's a possibility. We'll see what happens. But that's where it goes, right? It's you with the middle schoolers. It's a club at a high school, and
just anywhere we can get our foot in the door, really, right? Because it's hard. Because we have to find the people and then get them interested, and then we have to bring them to the courts. Those are the two things. Right?
Yeah, and you can show them in showing them that there is a pipeline to be able to do things that you never imagined you could do. I never thought I was going to get to Worlds, right? I really didn't think that was a possibility. And then when I had the blessing of going there and experience that, being able to say to a young person, hey, we really don't have any representation. You can really, if you grow in the sport, we'd love to have you represent the United States. That's unbelievable. Can you imagine going to Turkey or going to Italy as a 15-year-old to do a sport? I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah. So for everyone watching, you got kids, grandkids, cousins, illegitimate children, whoever you got.
And you got bocce courts near you?
If you're a deadbeat dad, you can bring your kid to bocce for a cheap introduction to the sport. And who knows, maybe your kid will be one of our representatives for Team USA. We are hurting for kids to represent USA. Definitely. I know I've talked to a few of the people's kids that I've seen at a few of the tournaments. And I think this year they just basically didn't get to send anyone. They didn't have.
No, and I've.
And we're the USA.
But that's
better get some people.
We just there's so many sports, right? Like if you think about this,
right? Our hierarchy of sports is a lot different in the U.S.
The gamut of ability to go and do whatever the heck you want to do.
That's true too.
It's so wide.
And for a lot of people that aren't familiar, in other countries, like youth bocce is a pretty big deal. They have programs and teams, and these kids I've seen as young as like 8 or 9, like pictures on Instagram, like Bocce Venezuela, Bocce Istanbul, Bocce all these places.
Yeah.
They have youth programs that seem to be thriving.
I mean, if you saw the young ladies that came up for the women's Pan Am, and there was a mix of ages there, but there were some, especially from like Argentina and stuff like that. They had some young ladies that were there. Brazil, they brought some phenomenal. They're just so freaking good at bocce.
And that's all they do. Right?
Well, and that's again, they had that opportunity through there to do that, and it was awesome. And so, the United States has a lot of room to grow, and that's a good thing, right? It's can it look bad? Can you say it's bad? Yeah, but having room to grow allows for opportunity for a positive result. So,
that's it. We got to just open the door. That's all we got to do.
Yeah.
And we appreciate people like you and everyone else always willing to take their time and help grow the sport, right? Because if you're not familiar, almost everything we do is volunteer.
Yeah.
In the bocce community.
It really is. Yeah.
Really, setting up a tournament like this, running nationals, broadcasting this kind of stuff, this is all basically volunteer time.
And the volunteers here and all the people from this club, the members of the club, there's ladies sitting at the table selling gear, there's to the people mounting the scores. They're not making money, right? They're doing this because it supports the club.
And they take pride in it, as they should, and we all do. And it takes a village. And it's been, Dan and Vince have been absolutely phenomenal.
They
gracious hosts. The Zonas have been amazing. The Della Croces are always a pleasure. It's just been, this is basically become one of the tournaments where it's a can't miss for me every year, just because of how great it is to just walk in the door here and feel so welcome.
Yep, I agree. And and it's, from my understanding, even before I was playing, it also was it was a widespread tournament. A lot of other places or clubs are coming. There was a little bit of that kind of rivalry between Highwood and St. Louis, or like Chicago and St. Louis. There's kind of just this relationship of a healthy.
The home courts, right? And it's like, and like I said, pride is a very big thing because this club was built by members that are still here, and they take a lot of pride in their home. This is their home.
Yep.
A lot of people spend probably more time in some of these clubs than they do in their own home.
Yeah.
On average, if you take away sleeping at home, on average, their time spent here, and that's a beautiful thing. That's what helps garner community.
Yep.
And luckily now we're being able to use technology to weave all these communities together and expose it to the world and say, hey, there's these really cool things happening all across the country. Come on down, check it out. So we have a warm-up game going on right now. I'm going to go on hold for a second so I can get these teams' infos. Miles, you want me to just put up the waiting screen? You want to talk by yourself?
We can put the waiting screen.
All right, we'll be right back, folks. Nice job, buddy. All right, joining me in the booth soon will be Alex Garr. Thank you for tuning in so far. We still got a long day of bocce ahead of us with a lot of good games. Alex is currently getting the info on the teams that will be playing on Court 5. To just kind of add on to what Miles and I were talking about developing the sport, growing the sport, doing all those sorts of things. ABC offers a developmental course. They are willing to come travel to your club or wherever you want, help teach bocce. So I'm just going to shut up and you guys can watch it.
Andiamo. Oh, that one here. I got your spelling. Good, good.
All right.
What's up, Milan?
What's up, Alex?
How are you?
We're good. How you doing?
Good, good. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. All right, we're back to action. So tired of looking at our mean mugs. What do we got on the court here, Alex?
This is the Aldo Della Croce division, the women's division. We've got Andiamo versus Come Sorelle. The game is just underway, and
A beautiful opener.
awesome shot. Yeah, so it looks like Come Sorelle scored one in the first,
Okay.
and this is the second frame, and that is your opening ball. Tough ball to beat.
I think we're going to see some nice point replacing.
I love these pink balls.
Yeah, these are seductive. Not a bad second ball, but again, that first one's a problem.
Yeah,
Especially for a lot of these teams that don't have shooters necessarily, true shooters.
Sure.
You put a first ball on Polino, it's tough.
yeah. So if that first ball looks like that and you don't have a shooter, are you automatically in defensive mode thinking,
Yeah.
live with one? That's a good
Look at
too.
that.
Look at that. Yeah, or for a lot of them too, I think it's roll it at the ball, see what happens, maybe create a little movement. That's a really good ball.
That is a great ball.
So
Let's see if I can. I like on these short balls. You usually can get the whole field of play.
all right, you mess around with that camera.
There we go.
While you're doing so, oh, now they got one a little deep, so that'll work too. Good defensive
There
frame.
you go. I like this.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the short balls.
For sure.
You can see the whole action. You can see us in the booth. I call our booth this week the penitentiary. We're inside this police line. I did time this weekend.
Yeah, between the two statues.
Yeah.
So
Oh, looks like on that one she was going to try to bump, but I think that's going to create.
Well, she's got one in the back now, so
Yeah.
and I'm not sure that Andiamo does have a shooter, but it's going to take that threat away. So while we have a chance and the game's just getting underway, let's go ahead and introduce the players on the court.
Go ahead. Who do you got, Al?
Well, Andiamo are rolling the blue balls, and they have the white T-shirts on. And on our rolling side is Laura and Felicia. Laura is the one rolling the ball right now in that black vest. Felicia, her partner, wearing the white Andiamo T-shirt, standing right next to her.
Nice.
They're going up against Cheryl and Donna. Cheryl and Donna wearing the purple shirts, sort of in the background there by the scoreboard. On the left side of the screen is Cheryl with the shorter, spiky gray hair, and her teammate is Donna.
Oh, Donna.
And, this one's got a chance. Look at that.
There we go. And we see it. We're going to see a lot of that. Take notes, people. You don't have to shoot everything.
So
that's that side of the court. We'll introduce the other end once we get this frame wrapped up.
This
It
one
looks
looks
like
good
it's going to
too.
be about 3 Andiamo. Or this is Como Sorelli.
This is Como Sorelli.
No, it's Andiamo. I had it right. I know why. You don't think I know how to do my job?
Well,
Hey.
which job? You got a lot of them. Name 4 of your jobs.
Teacher, fireman, paramedic, lover,
Listener.
feeler. I don't only hear people, but I listen.
Yeah, so we actually have the scores flipped there. Andiamo is actually up 4-zip. That's where the confusion came from.
There we go.
So on your scoreboard, Andiamo will be
Red.
the red team, but they are rolling the blue balls. Of course, there is no blue on your scoreboard.
There is no blue. We could, but I'm not that tech savvy, and if everything's working, I usually don't like messing with anything.
I'm just talent.
I'm talent.
No tech.
Hey, I've been
all
running
talent.
the camera all weekend, so I'm curious. Let me know how I did on that, because I usually don't get to run the camera too much.
Yeah, you kind of you've been the head honcho this weekend.
Head honcho.
Good ball.
Great ball. Great ball.
How much have you talked about the current status of the tournament overall?
I have not delved too much into it. I haven't gotten my first. Those are 2. These ladies are pointing their
Tushes off.
beautiful tushes off. I haven't really gotten to check in the booth today. Got here, made sure everything was running, and then had to play my game and then start the broadcast. How are you faring so far in this tournament, Alex?
American Bocce Company, our team is 2-0. Our first game, we won 12-6. My teammates played fantastically, played a decent squad, and did our job, manned our stations, got the win. The second game, we won 12-8. We gave up a 4-spot casino to lead off the game.
Oof, that's always tough. But good that you can weather something like that. Look at that beautiful point replaced.
Great ball.
Just
So
now.
now blue's sitting 3. So that became a comeback fight for us, and from there it was a good team effort. So 2-0. We are playing soon, our third game of the tournament. I know you guys are 2-0 as well, correct?
Yeah, good start for us too. Both games started off slow, kind of like get one, give one, get one, give one, and then we were able to blow both open and win 12-3 both games.
Beautiful.
So
You're in a good spot.
I always have that as it's kind of a cautionary though one when like everyone's rolling well and things are going well. To like, is it a good thing to go untested into the elimination, or is it a bad thing, or is it just like, hey, why don't you just keep playing good?
Yeah, I think ultimately it's more about what you don't want than what you do, and what you don't want is to have, your shooter struggling and or your pointer worrying with speed. Say we're pausing for Dr. Ron for a moment there. He's taking pictures. Okay, so red rolls that ball, and it does roll out a little bit.
I might have rolled them out.
Yeah, so blue is now sitting 1 on the side. And on our pointing side now, sorry, we're a little late here, but rolling for Come Sorelli is Sherry and Mary Jo. This is Sherry rolling right now. Ooh, that might have rolled out too. And opposite them is Maria and Phyllis. Speaking in unison. Phyllis with the black hoodie on, Maria holding the blue ball.
Just with their hand gestures, where do you think their nationality is?
So what they're going to do here is that Polino is actually really tough to get to with the curve off of the wall.
Give you
So
guys.
I wouldn't worry about a sell too much here. If I were them, I would just roll in on an angle as late to the Polino as possible, and the ball should trail left on you, and not have to worry about a sell.
Let's see how this one closes out.
And
that's a nice looking ball.
Watch that. Now watch that roll out a little left at the end.
Oh,
Great ball.
ooh,
Great ball. That's 2 more for Andiamo. They look dialed in, huh, Milan?
andiamo. I don't know what that means. I think it's
I
something
think it means
nice.
like hurry up or
Does it?
like. Do we got any Italian-speaking friends in the chat? Andiamo, I think, means with pace or I don't.
Hurry up. Let's go.
Okay, I feel good. Andi effin' amo.
On the F.
That's my team. So quick 6-0 lead for the gals. What else do I know from the tournament so far? I know that, as expected, Highwood has gone largely uncontested. Another American bocce team, which is Bridget, Jesse, Rob, and Chris Prokop, they're waiting to play their
First game
of the tournament. Unfortunately, their original first game was a forfeit. They had a terrible train delay, came in about 3.5 hours behind schedule, and a couple miscommunications led to them not being able to make that game up. So they start the tournament
Look at this first frame
0-1.
alpha already.
Wow.
Phenomenal. These ladies are here to play.
Yeah, no kidding. They would give you a lot more trouble than the last team I saw you rolling against.
How many people in the Giampiero Open are trying to outpoint that?
None.
0%?
Well, maybe 10%. Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, if you have a shooter on your team, you're not. This ball's coming in, and I think she would have got it.
that'll do
Look
it.
at that. And
On cue.
yeah, soft Rafa.
Srafa. Sriracha.
I saw your teammate Danko deliver you a hot sandwich there.
This is a hot pastrami. Half of a sandwich, yes.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, good.
I'm curious where the other half is.
Eat that and you'll find out.
I have to finish this one, and in the wrapper there's a clue, and the clue will lead me to the other half of my sandwich. A lot of people here today. I'm really happy today too. We've probably featured 50-50 of the women's tournament and the open tournament.
Yeah.
Which is great. There's been a call for it, and I'm glad that. Again, just to reiterate and remind people, we have no idea who's playing on our court. We take it as it comes. That's why sometimes it takes us a couple minutes because the game is called and then